Hey everyone, this is Judi with JLBCrafts. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, thank you so much for giving me a try. In this video, I'm going to be decorating and hand lettering the last week on the March Big Love Letters Challenge page, which is the letter B as in boy. That is March 28th through April 3rd. By the time this posts, the Big Love Letter Challenge words and assignments for April will be posted to all my social medias. So you can find the links to those in the description box. So let's get going. So I had picked out florals for this page. I always do florals. So I thought I would change it up a little bit. I pulled some really, really wide washi tape that I have that I fell in love with when I saw it. It's from AliExpress, so I don't have a link for it. If you just do wide vintage washi tape, a search, something like that, you'll get stuff like this. And I fell in love with it. I haven't done a lot of spreads using brown pens. I guess that's kind of a fall thing, but anyway, I wanted to go ahead and use this washi tape. I'm going to use a technique I used in a couple of spreads in my classic size planner, which is to do uneven rips and stack the washi tape up across the spine like that. And then I picked a kind of blushy brown Simply Gilded washi tape to go with it along the sides. So I'm gonna get started. This washi tape is wide enough that I can fit it across the top as well. I just haven't decided if I want to do an uneven rip or if I want to go ahead and cut it. So I will figure that out as well. I do have a link for Simply Gilded's No Spam newsletter. If you sign up for that and you haven't before, you get a coupon for $5 off of purchase of $15 or more, and I get that same coupon as well. It's about enough to cover shipping on a small to medium size order. So I just need bullet points. I love the nice soft brown. I think I'm going to use, even though there are pinks and greens in there, I think I want to use all different brown pens. I think that would be kind of fun. And as I was flipping in my big bullet point book, which I will link that, I will try to remember to link that in the description box how I made this, but basically anytime I came across a page of all or mostly bullet points in a sticker book, I pulled it out and added it to this book. So this one came from Trust the Process. These are rose gold, and there's rose gold foil on that washi tape, so I think I will go ahead and just go with these. I love the metallic bullet points. They're super pretty, but you can't really check them off. So I think this is a great way to use them since I don't really need to check them off. And do I need bullet points here? No, not really. But I mean, how else are you going to use them up, you know? Okay, so let's write in. I happen to have a black Papermate Flare handy from something else. So let's go ahead and write the assignments in. First we have the new letter, it's the letter B. Then we have a couple words starting with B, so we have bowl. So we'll use our new L from the last week, bent. And then we'll put B in the middle, so we have vibe. And then I wanted a double B, so we have nibble. It's a little bit long, but that's okay. We get 2 B's for the price of 1. And then we'll put B at the end. So we have club and lamb. With Easter coming up, I thought lamb was a good one. There we go. All right, I'm going to pick a bunch of beautiful brown pens and I'll be right back. All right, so here are my 4 pens, and I realize this could feel like a very fall spread. I'm going to call it vintage because I do have some brighter colors here in the washi tape, but I like earth tones, so I have a Mediterranean heritage and complexion, and so I'm all about the earth tones. I'm not a bright color person. So anyway, all right, so I have the brown Fudenosuke. The brand is Tombow. The pen is a Fudenosuke, and it is a hard tip. You can see right there next to the UPC. Next I have the new German WEISBRANDT Ultra Color. This is in the only brown in that color as well. Next I have one of the Calligraphs. This one it's called Dusty Rose, but it's actually kind of like this washi tape. It's a peachy brown kind of color. And then I have the lighter of the 2 browns in the brush sign pen from Pentel. So again, Pentel is the brand, and brush sign pen is the style of pen within that brand. So let's get started with Ace. So I'm going to start, as always, with the most stiff tip. That is, as I warm up, I get better control and I can control the softer pens easier. So I like to start with the firmest tip and work my way down to softest. But do whatever works for you. You don't have to use 4 different pens. I enjoy it, but you certainly don't have to. So here is the Fudenosuke by Tombow, the hard tip Fudenosuke. You also don't have to warm up by writing the word Ace over and over again. You can write whatever you can do. Just do wave drills or overturns and underturns, or pick something though that has you doing a light and a heavy stroke, and something, if you can, that is giving you trouble, so that you get tons and tons of practice at it. So this is the WEISBRANDT in the brown, the German. Okay, next I have the Calligraph, and I will do one Ace with the fat tip if I remember. And then finally the Pentel Touch brush sign pen. All right, so let's look at the letter B, which basically is an L from last week with an oval stroke added on. So you're going to start with the ascender stroke and add the belly or O stroke to complete the letter B. So just like last week's L, we're going to start at the midline, light up, heavy down. And then what this is indicating to you is you're actually going to lift your pen. This is 2 separate strokes put together. So then you're going to come up here, see the dot there, which is just below midline. You're going to start there, light up, heavy down, light up. And then you're going to swing on around. In this one, they're swinging past the beginning or the end of the L stroke and coming across to make the connector tail. This one they're showing it without, this one they're showing it with. So I think what they're trying to tell us is that you can play with that, you can make it look however you want. So that's from the Lovely Letters Planner. Some of the other sheets I have, the Tombow Fudenosuke pen, so free downloads, which I have linked. Again, so they're not doing the slant, they're vertical, and they're also doing theirs kind of fat. So, but you can tell they're doing the same thing. They're doing it as one stroke. They're not really lifting their pen. So light up, heavy down, light up, heavy down, and they're not coming across with a connector stroke, a tail. They're also choosing to leave theirs a little bit open at the bottom, which I kind of like. So that's something else you can play with. This one is the Crayola Calligraphy, the one with the rainbow cover, and you can see I was years ago when I first got this book playing with that a little bit. I don't even think these were proper brush pens. I think these were the Crayola pens, which I didn't really care for, and is probably one of the reasons why I didn't stick with it. So having the proper tool for the job, in my opinion, makes a huge, huge difference. So that's why I recommend the brush pens that I recommend. All right, so They're doing more like the Happy Planner bee. They're actually kind of halfway in between. So they're doing this part the same, but they're doing it vertical. And then they are starting up higher and coming down and around and out with a connector tail. But again, they're leaving theirs a little bit open. So I kind of like that. This is also a Crayolalligraphy book. This was actually, it wasn't a book, it was a boxed set of loose pages, and they have both the capital and the lowercase b. So the only really big difference on this one is, well, it is a little bit more slanted, but they're also starting clear over here, which I don't find myself getting into that habit. I just start it right at midline and come down. I don't have that extra little cross stroke, but I do like the way they are leaving the bottom a little bit open. You have to be careful though. This is borderline starting to look like a lowercase h to me. So I don't like to leave mine quite that open. But again, personal preference. Do whatever works for you. All right, and then last but not least, let's check the calligraphy blah made easy. Let's look at those. All right, so the letter B in this one, here's their letter B. So I really like that one. Just a little bit open, and they're coming out with a connector tail kind of stroke. And then let's see if there's a alternate for this one. Yep, so there is an alternate. So they're more vertical, more curved, more stylized. This one actually looks pretty darn interesting. They're actually reversing direction. Yeah, so if we follow the arrows, light up, heavy down, and then they're just doing a full-on oval, completely closed. But then look at the direction of the arrow on this last stroke. So they're coming around with an oval, and then they're reversing direction and coming out versus looping and coming out. So that's another, that one's not very loopy and frilly. So if you prefer that, there's another example. So this just, again, this just is to give you some ideas to play with yours so that you end up with something that you like. And to just, I mean, whatever you end up with, if you like it, then it's perfect. So go with what you like. All right, so let's try this. So I'm gonna go light up, heavy down, lifting my pen, and then we're gonna go light up, heavy down, light up, and a tail. I like that. I like it's just slightly open. It doesn't look like an H to me. It definitely looks like a B. That's what I prefer. That's what works for me. That's what I'm going to keep practicing. So you can play with how big your loop is. You can play with, do you come straight out? Do you come and curve up? There are lots of things to play with, and some of those decisions you may not be really well able to make until you see the B in a word, which is again why I choose to have, whenever I can, the words start with B, our letter of the week, the word end with the letter of the week, and to have the letter of the week in the middle. So you can work on how you get into the letter and how you come out of the letter and how you connect to the letter on either side. That's a little bit big there. Okay, so I'm only going to use the small end of the Calligraph for the rest of today's practice because of the ascenders. I would have to leave way more, like I would have to have left those B's off, and I didn't do that, so. You can also play with how big and round your belly is. Is it round at the top and at the bottom, or is it a little bit more like almost pointed at the top and round at the bottom? As you practice something, you'll have a lucky accident and it'll strike you and it'll be like, oh, I like that one. That's what I'm gonna go for. So All right, so let's start a word with the letter B. We're gonna start the word bowl. And so what I aim for is for my O to just pick right up where that little tail leaves off. Because of the way I make my O, that is conducive to this kind of a tail. So let's start this. There we go. I'm not really happy with that connection point, but the rest of it, I like. It looks like the word it's supposed to look like. So I'm gonna just keep going. So it helps if you have a skinny O, have a skinny belly on your B so that it feels more consistent. Also, the ascender portion of your B and the ascender portion of your L should look as similar as possible, again, for consistency. So you want to see the same forms and shapes and sizes repeating, echoing. Try bent. So again, my E is going to start right about where the B left off. And then I strive to cross my T at about the same width as the top of the B, so that, again, anything I can do to bring more consistency, it's not as jarring, it looks more polished. Let's try putting the B in the middle. So now we have to worry about how to space our B next to the I that is leading into it, so that we just catch the tail that we leave on the I. The BE combination we just practiced, so that we should be okay with that one. All right, so vibe. So there's our V. We can connect right there with the I and leave ourselves a little tail. Then don't worry about connecting right to the tip of that tail. You're going to catch it with the fat downstroke. There we go. That definitely, these words look like the words that they're supposed to look like. So, all right. So we've successfully started and connected to the B on both sides. So nibble shouldn't be a problem, but I do like to put a double letter in there whenever I can. So let's try this one. So the top 3 loops there in a row are going to look better if they're as identical as possible. So that's just another reason to put a double letter in there, so you can work on making them look as close to the same as possible. That last one's a little bit squished. All right, let's end our word with B a couple times. Also, we haven't practiced a U or an M yet this week, so this way we catch all the letters that we've learned so far. So let's try club. So I always find myself sometimes, well, not always, I just said always and sometimes, but sometimes for me, getting my C open enough so that it's different from an E can be an issue, especially as I start to get more tired. And last but not least, let's try the word lamb. Lamb. So same angle, same width at the top of the L and the top of the B, so consistency. You can tell I was worried about space. Look how skinny the top of that L is. Even subconsciously. Made it! I like that color combination. It's so soft and pretty. It's gonna look nice on the rose gold discs too. All right, so there is our B practice. Let me pull last year and we'll see what we can compare. When I make the words this year versus last year, I don't really pay too much attention to what I did last year because I want luck of the draw. I want mostly new words. So here we go. Let's see how we did. Oh, we had lamb, we had club, vibe, bowl. Looks like I used Abby as the double B word last year. So let's just go ahead and compare lamb to lamb here. Although by the time I get to about Saturday, my arm is getting pretty tired. I'm going a little cross-eyed. So anyway, there we go. There is our year-over-year practice, lamb versus lamb. I definitely am getting better, especially with the softer pens, at thin upstrokes versus fat downstrokes, because there's almost no differentiation here. I can tell this pen is a guano, which I haven't used in a while, but for most of these, there is not much differentiation at all between the fat and the thin versus this year where there is. So hopefully you're getting better at that. You're getting used to having your paper at the right slant. You're getting used to grabbing your pen up high enough, and your muscle memory is really there. And when you have a nice high energy day, you can get great differentiation between your thin upstrokes and your heavy downstrokes. So I hope you liked this video. I hope you're still with me. We are 3 months in. We are a quarter of the way there already. Wow. Insane. Keep tagging me on your posts on Instagram. I love sharing those on my stories so that everybody can see everybody else is still hard at work. And encourage everyone who maybe hasn't started yet, just found the challenge, that, you know, there are still many of us who are going strong on this. So I hope you like this video. If you do, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you.